Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
We begin tonight in Corning, where Corning Community College is dealing with some friction tonight. The faculty has conducted a no-confidence vote against the school's president. Matt Kleindinst breaks down that vote for us and tells us what steps will be taken going forward.
Good evening, Scott. The faculty union of Corning Community College voted overwhelmingly against Dr. Bill Mullaney. The union president tells me that the vote stems from issues that have been ongoing since last year.
Anytime that any segment of your employees is unhappy, that's a little disappointing.
On Wednesday, members of the professional educators of Corning Community College assessed President Bill Mullaney's approval rating. According to the union, a whopping 82% voted they did not have confidence in his leadership.
It was, not exactly a surprise given the issues we were discussing, but at the same time, disappointing nonetheless.
According to Mullaney, the issue stems from a labor dispute regarding cutting staff to save costs during the pandemic.
All staff furloughed in December, January for a number of days. And unfortunately, we also had to reduce 2 faculty positions.
And of course, full-time faculty are going to have some concerns with that, especially when he's going after tenured faculty.
Union President Ryan Hersha says Mullaney refused to listen to counteroffers by the faculty to prevent cuts.
We were invited to present alternatives, including early retirements, a reduced load. Initially, they indicated that they were interested, but then 3 months, they refused to meet with us, refused to talk with us about it, and then they just terminated the faculty.
The vote is non-binding, and it's up to the Board of Trustees to decide on next steps.
It would be irresponsible of faculty for us not to make sure that the Board of Trustees is aware that we are experiencing some serious problems out of the president's office.
Mullaney hopes he could continue to work with the faculty to solve problems.
I don't think that this single issue will cause us not to be able to work together.
Matt Kleindinst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The White House is making a massive push to increase vaccinations against COVID-19. This week alone, they've announced plans to dole out millions of dollars to help with vaccination efforts around the country and tax credits so businesses can give their employees paid time off to get vaccinated. But there's still a lot of people with questions, and they're often reluctant to roll up their sleeves. Britt Conway has more from health experts who have some answers.
Vaccine after vaccine. More than 134 million Americans have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. But
hundreds of Americans are still dying from COVID every day.
And even with a little more than a quarter of Americans now fully vaccinated, that'll need to just about triple to get to so-called herd immunity. And medical experts know what they're up against.
Obviously, there is an element of vaccine hesitancy.
There are questions about access.
The reality is 90% of the country is now within 5 miles of a vaccine.
Concerns about the technology.
The mRNA technology that was used for the vaccine is not new. It's actually been around since the 1980s.
Hesitancy about the pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
This still is an exceedingly rare complication.
Questions about a lack of long-term data.
Some people have had this vaccine in their system now for 9 months, so we're getting a lot of information here.
People assuming they won't get COVID-19, so what's the point? Or if they do, it won't be that bad.
But if you get infected and you pass the virus on to someone else, you could be causing harm to someone else.
These experts say they've also heard specific concerns from minorities, conspiracy theories, hesitation tied to religion, and a divide down party lines. But whatever the reason, they say those who are hesitant should look at the science.
Hit the reset button, look at the evidence.
I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
The National Institutes of Health says it's testing a new experimental drug in severely ill coronavirus patients. This phase 3 clinical trial includes patients hospitalized with life-threatening cases of COVID-19, including those with acute respiratory failure. This trial will test the drug Aviptidil and the antiviral remdesivir, both alone and in combination. The drugs will be tested for their safety and efficacy in hospitalized COVID-19 patients who are experiencing acute respiratory distress syndrome. A college student in New York is recovering after a vicious attack. Police are still looking for the person who threw acid in her face. Carolyn Gussif has the story, and we do want to warn you, some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing.
My whole life changed in a matter of 5 minutes.
Nafia Ikram bravely speaking out after an incomprehensible attack.
We don't realize what we have until it's gone.
What's gone is the life she knew as a Hofstra University student, burns across her face and arms. On March 17th, as she arrived home from work, walking from her car, she saw a man watching from the corner. He ran up to her and threw a cup of liquid in her face.
I started to cry and I was panicking. I was like, Dad, someone threw something in my face. And he was like, oh my God, it's acid.
Acid burns are seared into her Arlington Avenue driveway, as are burns in her eye and throat.
She was in the hospital for 3 weeks and she's still not able to eat properly. She can't see anything, only one eye is working.
I can just see colors, but that's it.
It's been a horrible nightmare for us.
The attack unprovoked. The unrecognizable attacker said nothing.
I want to know, what's the reason? What could I have possibly done to somebody?
This is a big question because she don't have any enemy. We don't have any enemy.
We want to find the people that did this terrible, heinous crime.
Celebrity chef Padma Lakshmi and community leaders urging the public to help out law enforcement.
If you know something, say something. If you saw something, say something.
The suspect, 6'2" with a skinny build, fled in a red Nissan Altima. The Ikrams do not believe this was a hate crime, but it has them living in fear.
What happened to her? We are hoping and praying it does not happen to anyone else.
Supporters have set up a GoFundMe, appreciated but of little solace.
No amount of money in this world will replace her vision. Anybody who has a clue, be a human being and come forward.
Today, the funeral of Dante Wright in Minnesota. Wright, a 20-year-old black man, was killed during a traffic stop by Brooklyn Center police last week. Minnesota lawmakers joined family, friends, and community members today to pay their respects. Civil rights leader Reverend Al Sharpton delivering the eulogy at the Shiloh Temple International Ministries in Minneapolis. Wright's funeral comes just days after former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted for the murder of George Floyd. Floyd's family attended today's funeral, along with their attorney Ben Crump, who is also representing Wright's family. The Corning Meals on Wheels program is asking the public for help to transition to more eco-friendly packaging. They say they want to switch away from styrofoam to more biodegradable alternatives. And they say the switch will be expensive, costing Meals on Wheels an additional $5,000 per year. David Smith says the switch is necessary to be better stewards of the environment.
So to do that, we want to move away from that non-biodegradable container. We want to move to that sustainable, earth-friendly container. It's not going to burden the generations to come.
So far, they've reached 10% of their fundraising goal. If you'd like to contribute, you can go online to the Corning Meals on Wheels website or Facebook page, where they have links to donate. Today is Earth Day, and to mark the occasion, a group of world leaders met virtually to talk about climate change and their plans for addressing it. President Biden has a bold goal and says he'll try to make it happen with or without help from Congress. Mike Emanuel is in Washington with more.
I'm surrounded by fire.
Wild weather extremes have always been a part of the planet, but some say events like wildfires and massive flooding are getting more frequent, and climate change is to blame. And on this 51st Earth Day, leaders from around the world, led by President Biden, are meeting virtually and urging action.
Scientists tell us that this is the decisive decade. This is the decade we must make decisions that will avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis.
President Biden wants all nations to take steps to cut carbon, and he's proposing an ambitious goal for the United States, saying he'll reshape the economy to slash emissions in just 9 years by at least 50% from 2005 levels. That would have a big impact on fossil fuel industries.
Why does America have to suffer and all of these other countries, Russia or China or Ukraine or Africa, why are they not the leaders in all of this so-called climate change?
Some of the world's biggest carbon emitters, including China and India, are at the table, and the challenge will be getting them to go along. But China's also one of the world's biggest makers of solar panels, and analysts say it may not take much arm twisting to get them to cut emissions.
China will clean its air, but it will do so for its own reasons. The regime is deathly afraid of its own people who are demanding clean air.
President Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure package will play a big part here, but it faces a tough fight in Congress, and Republicans have a smaller package they plan to put forward. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, a frightening moment caught on video showing a 4-year-old boy being crushed by a nearly 100-pound box delivered to his home.
Help! I was saying help, and then the package man just came back.
See the quick response from a UPS driver who saved the child from being trapped by this heavy package.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. We are expecting improving conditions tomorrow. Some sunshine, but it will be a breezy day. We are expecting a warming trend that will continue through the early part of the weekend. And then there's another storm system that will bring some soaking rain by your Sunday. So our future radar is showing any snow showers out there will continue to die down overnight, and things will start to clear away tomorrow as high pressure builds in. Initially, those winds will be strong in the morning and then will ease up as that center of high pressure starts to move a little bit closer to the region. But otherwise, temperatures will be pretty mild for tomorrow, at least a little bit warmer than today, a lot warmer, I should say. Temperatures around 40 degrees at 8 o'clock, 59 degrees at 2, 60 degrees at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we'll stay in the mid 50s through about 6 o'clock in the evening. Lots of sunshine during the day as well. But we have another storm system that will arrive Saturday night into a Sunday. It's going to push those showers right over our region, and so it looks like some of this rain will be just very soaking rain at that. So our feature radar is showing quiet weather through your Friday and most of Saturday as well. But by the end of the day, those clouds will start to increase. Showers will be moving in by 7 o'clock in the evening, becoming widespread by 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And this is going to be ongoing through about 7 o'clock in the morning, and then most of that will be tapering off by the afternoon. So we are expecting the wet weather to return this weekend. Tonight it is going to be dry and it is going to be cold. We drop down to around 29 degrees in Corning, 28 degrees in Elmira. So we are going to be below freezing for tonight. Highs tomorrow around 60 degrees in Corning and 60 in Elmira. So it's going to be a big leap in our temperatures, and today we only stayed in the lower 40s, and so it's going to be almost 20 degrees warmer tomorrow. 58 degrees for the high in Perkinsville and 61 degrees in Watkins Glen. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We are expecting that warming trend to continue through your Saturday, but here comes that next storm system bringing the rain back and also cooler air. So our highs will only be in the upper 50s through your Monday. We stay dry through Tuesday and Wednesday. A big warm up for next week. It's going to start to feel a little bit like summer as well, with highs around 82 degrees on Wednesday. Then another system arrives by the end of the week, pushing more rain into the region on Thursday and Friday.
Doctors have started using heart and lung transplants to save patients whose organs have been damaged by COVID. It's a new procedure with just a handful of cases around the country so far. Jaleesa Irizarry speaks with one patient whose life was saved by the procedure.
The outside of a hospital can feel so commonplace. The bustling sounds of a routine day contrast the extraordinary battles going on inside as patients and loved ones look for a sign.
It says, start each day with a grateful heart.
For Trinity and Brian Raymond, it wasn't always so obvious.
Pretty fitting, yeah.
As the two recall the last 4 months of their lives, Brian battled COVID-19 while Trinity watched him worsen.
I don't think there's like any words. I just never thought that it would get that bad. And I think, some days it was like hour by hour, like what is happening? Is he going to get any better? Is he not?
Brian was transferred to UC Health from Montana, where he was placed on a ventilator 17 days after testing positive for COVID. The father of 4 fought for months, but his lungs were giving up, and he needed a transplant.
The transplant for COVID-19 infection is a very new phenomenon.
Dr. Mohammed Aftab was one of Brian's doctors and says COVID-related lung and heart transplants are something we are now seeing across the country. According to NBC News, nearly 60 transplants were performed through March for patients with COVID-19 related organ disease. That includes 54 lung transplants, including Brian's, which UC Health says was the very first COVID-related transplant in Colorado.
There's no other way to explain how I got through everything. Like Terence said, without God on my side looking over me.
Brian was able to leave the hospital and is now recovering in Colorado for the next 3 months. As he and his wife look back at all that happened to get here, their hearts are with the donor's family that allowed him to survive extraordinary circumstances in an ordinary place.
Frightening doorbell video out of Illinois shows a 4-year-old boy getting crushed by a nearly 100-pound box that had just been delivered to his home. He was trying to carry it inside. But don't worry, this story does have a happy and even heartwarming ending. Jermont Terry reports.
An attempt to help leaves Max Pratt in a dangerous bind. He cries out after a box just delivered to the front porch tumbles over, trapping him.
Yeah, I was scared I was going to fall down the stairs.
Max, who's only 4, recalls the frightening moments on the same steps.
I always get the packages.
But this one was just what?
I couldn't get it. Well, the package man got it.
You see, Max is known for bringing them the packages for his mom. But this time he hears the doorbell. Max doesn't know what the UPS driver drops off is out of his league.
I was saying help, and then the package man just came back.
Watch as Marco Angel races across busy Ridgeland Avenue in Oak Park to rescue Max.
But as soon as I saw the package tilt, I just started running back to it.
The 97-pound box completely covers little Max, who weighs just about 40 pounds, but Angel doesn't hesitate.
He didn't think twice. He didn't even look for traffic. He came sprinting.
So I just pictured my boys and, in his situation, obviously you go into full parent mode, full dad mode.
Max is all right. He's even relaxing on what fell on top of him, this hammock.
I'm just happy that I was able to get that box off him because the box did weigh.
You would probably, if you got the chance, you would love to talk to the family, huh?
Just hoping the little boy's all right. That's all I'm good for.
So we make it happen.
What's up, Marco?
Hi, what's up, man? Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, buddy.
Gratitudes for a UPS driver who's living up to his last name, Angel.
You are our angel. The way you flew in and helped him.
A new iPhone color and redesigned iMacs. Apple's new products for 2021 have now been revealed. Mandy Gaither has a peek.
From a new spring-colored iPhone.
Purple joins the iPhone 12 lineup for pre-order this Friday.
To new tech.
This is AirTag. The next time the couch eats your keys, AirTag will help find them. AirTag uses the Find My network so iPhone can help you keep track of and find your things.
The AirTag is $29 or 4 for $99. Pre-orders start Friday with availability April 30th. Customers can also get AirTag accessories to attach the tech to a backpack, luggage, and more.
As you move, Precision Finding uses our U1 chip to get the precise distance to your AirTag. iPhone fuses that data with input from the camera, accelerometer, and gyroscope to give you visual, haptic, and audible feedback, guiding you right to your AirTag.
Apple also announced a new ultra-thin version of its desktop computer, the iMac. It'll come in an array of colors.
These new components help reduce iMac's overall volume by over 50%. The result is a design that's much more compact and just 11.5 millimeters thin.
The new iMac starts at just under $1,300. Orders begin April 30th. It'll become available in the second half of May. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Venmo is now getting in on the cryptocurrency craze. Customers can now buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrency directly in the app. They just need $1 to get started. That can come from existing funds within Venmo or a linked bank account or debit card. Customers are able to choose between 4 types of cryptocurrency: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. The new feature also comes with guides on how cryptocurrency works. First came the credit card swipe, then the tap. Now just a wave of the hand can process a payment. Amazon is rolling out palm scanners at one of its Whole Foods stores in Seattle. The technology, called Amazon One, allows shoppers to pay for purchases by holding their hands above a scanner. Before you can use it, you have to give the company your credit card information and a palm print. Amazon has been using the system for some time at its Amazon Go and Amazon Go grocery stores in Seattle. The company plans to bring it to 8 Seattle area Whole Foods stores in the coming months. Critics say it's a way for the retailer to cut jobs. Amazon claims palm scanners won't have any impact on employment. A New Jersey couple is enjoying their time in quarantine together. That's because they're both in their 90s and get to spend more time with each other. Meg Baker has their story.
98-year-old Bill Biega and 91 Iris Ivers met years ago while playing bridge. They reunited at Applewood Retirement Home when Bill moved there after his wife passed.
We talked more and more. Iris, with her gorgeous smile and behaving really like a younger woman, we got much fonder and fonder of each other.
Then the virus hit.
Locked us all down. We were not allowed to leave our apartments.
You were sneaking around, weren't you?
We were sneaking. He'd come to my apartment, I'd go to his.
Then they got caught.
Just like I was a college guy sneaking into the women's dorm.
They had to make a choice, stay apart or move in together. They chose to quarantine at Bill's.
We love each other.
It was a little bit of an adjustment.
The couple says they learned a lot about each other quickly, including just how far to push each other.
We have our wine with our dinner. We're both okay.
Bill has even gotten Iris to join his swimming routine.
He does 8 laps.
That's what keeps me healthy.
Love advice?
Be a risk taker. Not a big risk taker, but I do take them. I mean, just moving in with Bill was a risk. I mean, who knew?
Keep on being optimistic. Keep on striving to do your best. Take advantage of every opportunity.
Annie says keep moving. An active social lifestyle has kept these 2 nonagenarians happy and healthy. In Freehold, New Jersey, Meg Baker, CBS 2 News.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. The 90s called and it wants its toys back. Well, sort of. Tamagotchi, the iconic 90s digital pet, is back, but like nearly every other handheld device nowadays, it has a camera. Tamagotchi Pix, as it's called, is a blast from the past with some contemporary add-ons. The basics are the same. It's an egg-shaped device with 3 buttons with the goal of raising a virtual pet. The pet goes through different stages, like hatching from an egg, and demands attention by asking to be fed or played with. Tamagotchi Pix costs $59.99 and is available for pre-orders now. It goes on sale in July. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great night.